I have a lot of plugins. Which is exactly why I decided to try to make a song with only one of them. Seems logical. Normally I'd go use a template, but I mean, we're only using one plugin. Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another sound design tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to sound design all the instruments you'll ever need. Thank you for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you next time. As you can imagine, choosing one plugin to use is pretty difficult. I debated which one to use to make this song with for a while. I could use SimSynth as well. Oh, this one has like envelopes and stuff. Oh gosh, I had two plugins for a second. If I did this with Vital, I think that would be a lot more interesting. Well, I have no clue where to start here. What if I turn everything on? That sounds like a good idea. Honestly, that's kind of cool, but believe it or not, I planned on doing this with 3x OSC initially. Technically, I guess you could do this with a modular setup or like Phase Plant, where you can practically have everything you need, but then it's just making it more time consuming and less of a limitation. I figured for this, Vital would be more interesting and a good balance of capability. Alright, so we're gonna start on an offbeat because we're freaky like that. Yeah, that's a melody. That's a melody. That's what that is. So I should probably mention that this song is it's gonna be on Spotify, so that kind of raises the stakes a little bit. Specifically on an album called yeah, I don't know, I thought it was cool. The full album is coming out on the 20th of December. You'll find it under Fuse the Divide wherever you stream music. I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a listen. That's really interesting, actually. Okay, so I should probably explain my idea to make this actually doable. You're probably going to want to have multiple instruments. The way we can emulate that in Vital is by treating each oscillator instead of like one layer. We can kind of treat them as instruments on their own. We'll just mute all these oscillators and then turn up the one that we want, depending on what note is being played. Now when I play in this range on the piano, the volume on the first oscillator is being turned up to its normal level, and the other one is unaffected. But then if I play a little higher, it plays the other one. That's the idea that makes this actually possible. Yeah, the sample. So this is gonna be like 3 octaves. Sure, that works. I need to have one of these for drums. Dude, this is so dumb. Alright, drums. That's kind of kick drum like. In order to get more drums than just a kick drum, I'm gonna need a way to get more inharmonic sounds, like noise, rather than just the tonal stuff that the oscillators normally provide. It's a slew limiter. Sounds disgusting. Vital being a wavetable synth allows you to put multiple waveforms in one oscillator and change between them with the wavetable position slider. My idea was to make half of the wavetable a sine wave or some pure tone, and the other half noise, so I could combine both of them to make a kick snare and a hi-hat. Practically, this isn't the easiest thing to do. Why does the kick sound gross? Why you sound disgusting? One idea I had was to just take a noise recording and see if I could put that in the wavetable somehow. My ears. You can't change volume in the wavetable editor, so I ended up applying filters to opposite halves of the parts to combine them. This note is modulating modulation 8 amount, and then LFO3 is modulating modulation 1 amount, which is the level of oscillator 1. Yeah, Vital does not like this. I want a snare, which is easier said than done. I just made an 808. I want to sample that. Sounds ridiculous. It's almost a snare, guys. I'm going insane. Oh my gosh, drums. That sound like drums to me. Yeah, that's what I want. Every song in this album has a theme, and the idea for this one is that it's foreshadowing what's to happen in the next couple songs. I won't say too much about the themes here, but I will talk about what each song represents and some production tricks I used in a future video once the album's out, so consider subscribing if that sounds like that'd be interesting. 10, 11, 12, what comes after 12? 14, obviously. I didn't pass first grade math. So to get an idea of what I should foreshadow in this song, I went through the next couple ones on the album and wrote down all the notable parts. Or at least that's what I intended on doing before I got distracted writing down all the things I wanted to change. There is one thing I'm afraid of. Vital has a maximum amount of modulations. Looks like 32. I'm using 26. Oh boy. I'll sneak in a couple melodies I used in the latter songs. That's sufficiently weird. I need a lead here. definitely one of the endings of songs of all time. Obviously, there's a lot of things I can't do with one plugin, but I'm just gonna pretend like I can do everything and say all those things and see how many I can do. Alright, I think that's a pretty good assortment of things that I need to change, which takes work. I don't like work. I am going to break stuff. That route is easy, we'll just do that first. Nice and slow. Brother, what? The weirdest soup ever. After making some finishing touches, I had one more thing I wanted to do. Remember what I said about combining waveforms into one oscillator? Well, I decided to use a wavetable with a bunch of random timbres in it and switch between them throughout the song, just to make the parts feel a little more distinct. And after having done that, it's done.